Heya Cryptozens, it's 10 p.m. Pacific time. The date is October 26th, 2022. Welcome back to the Crypto Overnighter. My name is Nikodemus, and I will be your host as we take a nightly look at the crypto, NFT, and metaverse space and the industry that surrounds it. And keep in mind, nothing in this show should ever be considered financial advice. So here's an update on a recent story. Freeway, remember them? They're a crypto staking platform. They have a product that they call Supercharger. This Supercharger product is built as a high-yield product that has returns of up to 43%. You deposit your fiat or your currency with them, and then that's put into a regulated brokerage account, which is then leveraged for yield. That is until this week. On the 23rd of October, they announced that they were halting all buys and deposits. They were claiming unprecedented volatility, and they gave no details at the time. They just said that they won't be buying back superchargers until they get new strategies implemented. Well, they have a bit of an update to explain what happened and why. They put out a 22-part Twitter thread by way of explanation. And in this thread, they said one of Freeway's trading strategies failed. And that failure, quote, dramatically impacted Freeway's portfolio. And the damage that caused was a substantial loss for their customers. So, in part, Freeway is blaming the recent rally of the US dollar. They said that, combined with crypto's volatility, caused their trading strategy to fail. They said, quote, the trading strategy was executed as it was programmed, but the market volatility caused a spike in margin utilization, leading to the loss. In that thread, they said that they were working on a recovery plan, and they said that this plan involved bringing in new expertise, their words, and that they need to improve the management of their funds, diversifying the opportunities available to investors. Also, launching a new product that they claim brings, quote, impressive projected profitability. Sounds kind of like pie in the sky talk to me until they bring out something to substantiate those claims. They're also talking about increased consumer protections in their Earn and Protect feature. Now, they've said that they've made changes to their strategy. They said, quote, in order for us to resume supercharger buybacks, we need to be in a position to execute safely. We will therefore need to see significant inroads into the losses before that can happen, and that will take time. Freeway's token has dropped 81% since services were halted. Okay. Going from Freeway's token to government-backed coins, let's talk about the Bank of International Settlements, or BIS. They had a 6-week pilot project, and this project was to determine the usefulness of a central bank digital currency in foreign exchange transfers. They worked with 20 different banks and conducted over 160 payments with a transaction volume of around $22 million. And so it was that the central banks based in Hong Kong, China, and the UAE, and Thailand took part in this project. And those banks issued over $12 million on the platforms. They set it up so that the commercial banks could conduct those tests on the payment versus payment and foreign exchange payment versus payment experiments. This is part of BIS's continuing project called mBridge. And mBridge is the name of the collaboration with the central banks of Hong Kong, China, UAE, and Thailand. One of the biggest concerns that these banks expressed was a lack of liquidity. There were issues around the timing of things, and that issue meant that foreign exchange transactions weren't tested as thoroughly. This is because some banks have a limited amount of time in the day to clear their balances off their CDBCs by the end of the day. Another problem that they uncovered had to do with onboarding. One bank said that there was an issue on the onboard transactions. Apparently, those transactions didn't have an efficient price discovery mechanism where foreign exchange prices are concerned. This led to the exchange rates being calculated off-bridge before the transaction could happen. And that means that the banks had to tap into outside liquidity rather than use mBridge itself. The report said, quote, given the need to rely on existing correspondent banking relationships for liquidity, the real value nature of transactions, and the short time span of the pilot, transactions took place, for the most part, between banks with pre-existing business and service relationships. Now, from CDBCs to stablecoins. Because the UK is pressing on with their Financial Services and Markets Bill. This bill proposes, quote, a range of measures to maintain and enhance the UK's position as a global leader in financial services, ensuring the sector continues to deliver for individuals and businesses across the country. And while recent developments in the bill have related to cryptocurrency broadly, let's remember, initially this was really just about stablecoins, at least the parts as far as crypto goes. And that's noticeable in the bill's approach of using existing methods to regulate stablecoins. And they've created a new term in the UK for stablecoins: digital settlement assets. This move separates stablecoins from crypto assets. Their definition of crypto assets is that it uses some form of distributed ledger technology. And they're saying that digital settlement assets include stablecoins because of their, quote, given their potential to develop into a widespread means of payment. The UK government has said that there would be a package of measures with an eye towards improving crypto regulations and establishing some sort of legal clarity where blockchain and crypto are concerned. Even so, nothing is going to change soon. There are a number of steps yet before this bill would become law. Now that it's passed the House of Commons, the House of Lords will take up the matter next. Assuming the bill survives debate in the House of Lords, then it goes on for royal approval from Britain's new king. Whenever this bill becomes law, they'll need a police force to enforce it. And it appears that even though the bill hasn't become law yet, there are a number of UK police officers ready to take up the task of taking those crypto criminals on. Andy Gould is the Detective Chief Superintendent for the National Police Chiefs Council in the UK. And on October 25th, he was speaking at a parliamentary debate on the UK Economic Crime and Corporate Transparency Bill. It was in that setting that he said all police forces in the UK have trained and ready to investigate cases involving enforcing the law and seizing crypto assets. He said that they have the ability to deal with economic crimes, but they lack capacity. That's after spending nearly £100 million over the last 4 years to create, quote, cryptocurrency tactical advisors across the whole of policing. So that went to hiring, training, and equipping 250 crypto tactical advisors, which will be important, given this bill puts the power to easily freeze and seize crypto assets in the hands of law enforcement. Despite all this, Gould believes that they can't really keep up with crypto because it's a costly thing to do, especially given that, according to him, the tools that they're equipped with aren't able to handle every kind of crypto asset. Now, this leads to added cost during investigations. He said, quote, the assets themselves are becoming more diverse, more technical, complex, so our officers are kind of in an arms race trying to keep up. So we need more than one investigative tool to better investigate effectively. That's very expensive. Now, one issue, and this is a common thing in government service, and it's related to our story last night. Senator Warren and AOC are concerned about the rate at which government employees in the U.S. are hired by private corporations where crypto is concerned. As I said then, it's a common issue even outside of the financial industry. And apparently, this issue exists across the pond as well, because Gould is saying that they have problems keeping people on the job when industry is offering fat paychecks. Quote, one of my sergeants has just been offered £200,000 to go to the private sector. We can't compete with that. That's probably the biggest risk we face within this area at the moment. £200,000. Police in the UK make between £28,000 and £100,000 per year, so you can see where the draw is there, which is an issue because not only of the brain drain of these expensively trained assets going to private industry, these cops are needed. The bill's purpose is to, quote, compel businesses to hand over information which could be related to money laundering or terrorist financing, which, if they don't have enough assets to investigate and enforce the law, how much good does that really do? From law enforcement, let's change gears to regulation, because the Monetary Authority of Singapore has put together a series of proposals to improve the regulation of crypto industry. And these proposals are as a result of the Three Arrows Capital crash. The proposals cover regulations for digital payment token service providers and stablecoin issuers under the Payment Services Act. Now, the Central Bank of Singapore has released a couple of reports on this, and in those reports are proposals. Reportedly, the central bank's efforts are an aim to reduce the amount of risks consumers are exposed to from crypto trading. They also want to improve the standards of transactions involving stablecoins. So this first document, it deals with digital payment token services and major cryptocurrencies. Now look, anybody who's been around crypto trading for more than 5 minutes knows that trading on leverage is dangerous. It means you can lose your collateral. That's one of the points in the first document. That, quote, any form of credit or leverage in the trading of DPTs could end up leading to a magnification of losses. They also suggest the banning of the use of credit cards to buy crypto. Their proposal would ban service providers from offering retail customers with any form of credit, whether that's fiat currencies or crypto. And further, they said, quote, DPTSPs should ensure that customers' assets are segregated from the DPTSP's own assets and held for the benefit of the customer. And we've seen cases recently where this would have been very beneficial, given how 3AC imploded. And beyond that, they suggest the service providers adopt a set of consumer tests to gauge their clients' readiness to engage in crypto trading. Now, the second document is more cut and dried, as it provides a proposal for a stablecoin regulatory framework. This would give stablecoin issuers a set of business and operational requirements. Now, a couple things that they talk about is banning stablecoin issuers from lending or trading other cryptos. And additionally, they would also prevent issuers from staking or lending single currency pegged stablecoins. Quote, this is to ring fence and mitigate risks to the CSC issuer in lieu of a comprehensive risk-based capital regime. Such activities can still be conducted from other related entities. Now, these proposals are open for public comment until the 21st of December this year. Now, from Singapore, let's go to South Korea. Kim Soo-jun is the CEO of Hashed. He's also an early Terra investor. Now, he was due to show up at South Korea's National Assembly's Political Affairs Committee. He was one of 6 people that were selected to participate in the South Korean Parliament's inquiry into what happened to Terra, why $40 billion of wealth just evaporated. Soo-jun was scheduled to show up, but he didn't, citing extreme stress. Instead, he sent a letter. In that letter, he said that he was suffering severe mental harm due to the Terra Luna Black Swan event. Quote, since the Luna Terra crash occurred, I have been suffering from anxiety disorder and panic disorder due to extreme mental stress. Now, it sounds like he might be serious, because included with this letter was a medical certificate saying that he has been hospitalized and is under psychiatric care and has been since July 29th, which I can understand. I've never been in the position of losing $3.6 billion before, but if I had, I'd be stressed too. And he's not the only one. The chairman of South Korea's BitThumb exchange also failed to show up for his parliamentary meeting on October 6th. He also went mental, cited a panic disorder. A number of witnesses have showed up during parts of this investigation. One noticeable absence? Do Kwon. Because despite claims he's not in hiding, that he's cooperating with the authorities, and that he's not on the run, he has yet to turn in his passport and surrender himself either to South Korean authorities or to any Interpol representative. I imagine he's pretty stressed too. And that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank you, my listeners, because when you stop listening, I will stop talking. We'll see you tomorrow night.